So, Blue Beetle. What if you're a nerd and you're listening to this? You probably know what's up. Hopefully, you went and saw it. I did. I got to see it on Sunday, and I hey, what am I gonna say? I liked it. I'm non-spoil. I'm not gonna spoil too much about it. I think it's a really solid movie. I don't think it's great, but I think it's, if someone's calling it mid, they are wrong. It's not a mid movie. It's a really good comic book movie. It's a little bit of a throwback in some places. It's very much inspired or takes bits and pieces from other kinds of media. Like there's a bit where you'd be like, oh, this is like a Fast and the Furious movie, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. I think where this movie really shines is the fact that it's just such a specific cultural, thing. In the way that Black Panther is, like, this is not the Latino Black Panther. Let's call it. I'm gonna call it like that. It's too small scale, and there's not as it's not as well told and as good a story. It's actually a fairly run of the mill comic book story that's just told very well. But to that point, though, there's Latino culture in it that is so specific that I, as a person that grew up in Texas and lives in Florida, missed. I know I missed some stuff, but it was fun. Lottie, the family dynamic. You know how Miss Marvel, you really like the family. That's how you're gonna feel about this family, the Reyes family. Um,
Yeah, I
it,
heard like from people that some of the things that when people said they liked about the movie, the family is, there's a lot of people that like were saying expecting in the movie they're not gonna like the family. They're saying the family is like one of the best things in the movie. And that is like universal, even from like toxic fans. I've seen toxic fans say like, yeah, the family was a very good part of this movie.
yeah, everyone was mad about the whole Batman the fascist line. Surprise! It was a line that had a line following it that put it into context. But whatever. The family's really fun and really interesting, and you like them immediately and root for them. The bad guy, if anything, I'd say the downfall. There's two things that are sort of taking this away from being a really awesome movie to just being a great movie, and that is the Susan Sarandon is wasted as a villain. She's very generic as a billionaire industrialist villain. Um, and also just the plot is very Iron Man. It's like Iron Man and Venom and Fast and the Furious sort of had a weird baby.
I heard
But
that. I
but
heard. I seen like side by side pictures of the final fight, and I was just like, "What?"
but that being said, the action's really great. Like the fight scenes when they finally get into it, everyone's powered up and they're going ham. That sword, that giant Buster sword, is a fucking Buster sword. It goes ham. Like there are parts that like the action sequences where I'm like, okay, I now see where y'all spent y'all's money, you know. But this movie really lives or dies on whether or not you like Sholo Maridueña as Jaime Reyes, and you do, and whether or not you like his family, and you do, and even there's a connection to Ted Cord, the original Blue, or the Blue Beetle. Um, and so there's lore and everything in there. It's fun. It's a good fun movie where you really like the good guys, and even the bad guy is the bad guy is less mustache twirling. At least the bad guy that works for the bad guy is more Killmonger than he is, Ironmonger from Iron Man. So like all the way around, I liked it a lot. I liked it mostly for the characters and less for the superheroics. And I'm so looking forward to seeing what Blue Beetle is in the DCU. So, and I do believe I avoided as many spoilers as I could there. But if you're a DC fan, this is for you. If you like comic book movies, this is for you. Hell, if you just like to see a comic book movie that has a hell of a lot more heart and just a lot more specificity than you know let's say a Morbius or something like that, way more than that, this is definitely for you. So like, just definitely go check it out, um, and report back on it from there. That being said, Lottie, this thing, whew, 25 mil opening weekend in the U.S. That ain't gonna do it. That's a flop by any other name. Like, I think its worldwide numbers are like trash. And but are we surprised by this?
No.
It's it's unfortunate. I hate that 2023 is the year of good movies that can't make any money. Like that. Like, if this seriously, if this movie had come out either 5 months before Aquaman 1 or 6 months after it, it'd have done gangbusters. Like, for real. Like that, I don't get this. Like, what do you people want? Like, it's a solid, you know, it's a solid superhero film that's got a lot, it's got a lot going for it, except apparently people wanting to go see DC movies. Shit's crazy, man. I don't know, Lottie. What is there any takeaway DC's gonna get from this?
I mean, man, I've been telling people this, and people either ignored me or didn't want to believe me. When Guardians of the Galaxy 3 didn't make $1 billion, that is a massive red flag of what is to come this year. Because I'm just like, if that movie didn't make $1 billion, boy, you guys, it is going to be rough to make it. If any movie gets past 750 million, you should be making absolute victory laps, popping champagne, kissing your wife, throwing middle fingers at everybody. If you can make 750 million in this year, because nobody's going to them. It's just,
Unless you're Barbie or Oppenheimer.
but it's just those. Here's the thing about Oppenheimer and Barbie. Barbie is just a cultural movie there was never a Barbie movie ever before. So it's one of those things that, of course, is going. If Barbie came out in 2022, it probably would be one of the highest grossing movies of all time. You know what I mean? It's just, there's never been a Barbie movie, and Oppenheimer is this like classic that's been hyped up for hell for the last 2 or 3 years. You know what I mean? But like these other movies, like I felt like this movie was never going to be a $700 million thing. But I think this movie could have made could have easily made about 300 to $500 million in the box office, because from what I hear, like, there's not a single person that I've heard that didn't like this movie. It's a good movie to it's a good summertime movie to go watch with friends or family and just sit down and actually enjoy yourself.
Mm-hmm.
The simple fact that this is the type of movie that's bombing, it just shows you that nobody wants to watch a movie. And I don't think DC should look at this and be like, oh, let's never make a movie like this again. No, don't look at it like this. The lesson that DC needs to take from this movie is that you have destroyed your brand so much that you need to fix your brand.
Right.
That's what you need to. There's no lesson that this movie should not be blamed for its lack of success.
Mm-hmm. And
DC, Warner Brothers, you are to blame for the lack of this movie's success.
Well, let's also remember that this was supposed to come out on HBO Max. So it was made for a decent amount of money. Like, I think originally it was supposed to be 90 mil. I think they upped it like 20 or 30 million dollars. That's not a bad expenditure for this kind of movie. I mean, it shows in some ways, and a lot of the money went to the CG and everything for obvious reasons. But I think the kernel, the core of this movie is very strong, and it's a strong character. Like, this is a character that I understand why James Gunn's like, oh yeah, we're keeping this one. If he's playing in the toy box, this is one he wants to keep, because the whole idea is just like super, super strong. and like every character in there just kind of endears you to it. And I didn't say it before, but like the story is good enough that it made me tear up several times. So
Hmm.
like this was not just like a Shazam 2. This was Shazam 2, and I like Shazam 2. This movie's better than Shazam 2, right? It says in this, I like Black Adam. This is better than Black Adam. I'd say it's 50-50 for me if it's better than Flash, but like Flash has a lot of baggage that came with it. This has no baggage. It's just you can get into it. So either way, it's too bad for them. But I hope the lesson that DC takes is lean more into trusting your characters. That's what I want them to do. Trust your characters. Trust that you have characters that people are going to connect with, that you can, really lean hard into their differences, their what makes them special, the people that surround them, and that you focus on character first and forget about all the superheroics will come along. The character is first. So anyway, we'll see. We'll talk about more about Blue Beetle's box office, I'm sure, in the coming weeks, and also when he shows up in the DCU.